Hey guys, welcome back to a very special unplanned episode of CLOWNFISH TV. This is so freaking weird. DC publisher Dan DiDio is supposedly out. He's supposedly out. He's leaving DC Comics. He's been there forever. He's been there for a very long time. This is so weird because, you know, we haven't really done a lot of comic book videos lately, but I did do a video on the situation with 5G or Generation 5 or whatever they're going to call it at DC, where they're going to reportedly reboot the entire DC universe with replacement characters. Marvel tried this before. It failed miserably. And, you know, we're like, well, if this fails, if DC screws this up, that could potentially be the end of DC as a comic book publisher. And it could also take the direct market with it. And now Dan DiDio is out. So I have no idea what's going on here. This literally just broke an hour or two ago. So here we go. DC's Dan DiDio out as co-publisher. The veteran had served in the role since 2010. Yeah, he's been there for a while. Comic book industry vet Dan DiDio is no longer with DC, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. DiDio had served as publisher of DC alongside Jim Lee since 2010, following a 6-year stint as VP executive editor, and prior to that, VP editorial. He's been there a long time. More to come. That's it. That's it. Nobody knows exactly what's going on. All right, let's go out to Bleeding Cool and see if they actually have a clue and they know what's going on. Whether he quit or was fired or pushed out, says Rich Johnston, we don't know yet. We may never know. Bleeding Cool can confirm that Dan DiDio, publisher of DC Comics, is no longer publisher of DC Comics. He's gone from the company. So he didn't take a demotion. He didn't move on to other things. He's gone. Whatever happened, happened fast. Bleeding Cool has confirmed with a number of sources inside and outside DC that Dan is gone. Rumor has it that this happened from high up at Warner Brothers and was a result. Oh, this is interesting. Rumor has it that this has happened from high up at Warner Brothers and was a result of high staff turnover at DC as of late, issues with editorial and publishing plans, and Dan being fingered as the man responsible. Nobody wants to be fingered. Well, some people want to be fingered. That is right now nothing more than a rumor. Dan's departure at DC has been reported a number of times in the past, including a decade ago by Nikki Fink at Deadline, but he always hung on at the time. Bleeding Cool reported the opposite, and we clashed. Today it's my turn to report the news, says Rich Johnston with girlish glee. Dan has been a public figurehead at DC in a way that they never really had before, and crafted himself into becoming a legend in the comic industry. A risk taker, he was behind industry-changing events such as the New 52 and was instrumental in seeing DC move from a comics publisher into a content hub across media. More than anyone else, today's DC Comics is, for all intents and purposes, Dan DiDio Comics. That will change. Jim Lee is also publisher of DC Comics and will take the lead in the months ahead. Will he? Or will he get gone too? As for 5G and the new DC timeline, championed internally by Dan DiDio, your guess is as good as mine. He joined DC Comics in 2002. So he's been there damn near 20 years. And, is it about 5G? Because this 5G thing, it sounds terrible. It sounds like an absolutely terrible idea. I don't know why they're doing this. Well, I know why they're doing this, but could things be worse at DC Comics right now than they're letting on? Because we do know that Warner Brothers, WarnerMedia is looking to cut wherever they can cut. Or maybe they looked at it and they're like, hey, we already got Jim Lee. We don't need two publishers. We got to save some money. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I think 5G is going to be a terrible idea for DC Comics. I think it's going to go down like the all new, all different Marvel Now, or the hell they called it in 2015, where Marvel had to backpedal in 2017, to try to recover from the damages. So this is interesting. And this kind of goes along with what we've been talking about when we do talk about comics and the comic book industry. And, there are massive changes coming, and they might not be good for the direct market. I don't think they're going to be good for the direct market. I really do think that in the not so distant future, Warner Brothers, WarnerMedia could shut down DC Comics as a comic book publisher. And we're going to get people in the comments go like, no, they're not going to sell Batman and Superman. I'm like, that's not what I said. What I said was they will stop publishing comic books themselves. And if those characters are published as comic books, somebody else might do it, or they'll just keep reprinting the same material over and over and over again. But this is huge. And this is coming a few months before this 5G thing that they're going to do. And wow, you know, it's look, the comic book industry is on death's door. This is not good. This is not a good thing. Especially with Warner Brothers cutting. This is not a good thing. So we'll keep you guys posted. Very surprising news. Very surprising news, especially, you know, after the last video I just did a couple days ago, first comic book video I did in like forever, and now this happens. So we'll talk to you guys later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.